Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Telegraph Herald. More Than the Score. I'm your host Steve Ortman. Alongside me this week, the return of Tim O'Neill.
Oh yeah.
And what else can you say?
Hello.
Hello?
It's good to be back.
That's good. Yeah, so it's always good to have you back, Tim. And well, softball, baseball, home stretch here on baseball. Teams playing to go to state. Softball, obviously you were there for the ride on that one. Wrapped up on our end of things. So, but first, let's start with baseball. Just happened earlier this week. Dyersville Beckman baseball team going back to state once again. They claimed a 27th district championship last week, and now they're going back to state, and they did it with a win over a rival in Cascade.
Yeah, you know, it's been no surprise who Beckman would have to go through to get to state. The past 4 years, Beckman and Cascade have played in the regular season, and then again in the playoffs. 3 of those times the game has been to go to state, and this time, you know, once again, Cascade won the regular season meeting, but Beckman came out in the sub-state final, a 5-0 victory, and you just never know what's going to happen in this rivalry. One team can win one, and then the other can win the other. So too bad they don't get a third one down at the state tournament to really decide, but obviously that's not the way it works.
It's been a great rivalry, and I know the players have a lot of fun with it, and Beckman players were obviously playing for something a little more here this season.
Right, you know, their longtime coach, Tom Jank, is battling a brain tumor and hasn't been able to be with the team, so they're playing for him. Player Jackson Bennett tweeted out a message saying, "This one's for you, coach," before the game, and obviously he really came through for the Trailblazers last night. I believe it was a 3-hit shutout, and just really led the way for Beckman to get past Cascade.
Yep, you mentioned it there. Bennett pitched a gem, and Sam Stelkin had a huge play on the defensive end, you know, robbing a home run, a great catch there right at the fence and outfield. You know, Cascade gets that run on the board, things maybe could have changed, but Stelkin made a great play.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it, I saw today, Bryce Simon tweeted to Sam Stelkin congratulating him on the nice play. So, you know, they're hated rivals, but they still show a little respect between each other, so it's always nice to see that little bit of class there.
Yep, so we'll have the coverage for you. Beckman down at state here, Jim Leitner. He'll have all that coverage for you, and another team playing to go to state. Jim's at that game happening right now. It's Wednesday evening. We're filming this, and Dubuque Waller is playing to go to state tonight. By the time this hits the airwaves on YouTube and TelegraphHerald.com on Thursday morning, we're going to know if the Golden Eagles are going back to state.
Yeah, trying to go for the 3rd time in program history. It'd be the first time they'd ever gone to state for 3 times in a row. Excuse me. Last year was the first time they'd ever gone 2 years in a row. So hopefully for the Golden Eagles, they can make it 3.
Yeah, and we'll have all that coverage for you as well. Of course, when you're seeing this, we're going to know. So,
yep,
crazy. Hi, future. You already know if Waller went to state. We don't yet. Isn't that crazy?
A little bit.
It's a good little crazy. Anyways, you want to move on to softball?
Sure.
I gotta tell you though, T-Boy. So this Wednesday, filming this here on Wednesday night, it was so humid today. It was so hot. I went for a run. I'm just kind of exhausted, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm just not feeling the greatest, and I don't really want to be on camera anymore. So I do have a fill-in here before we move on to the softball talk. Don't worry, I'll be here talking with you on the side. I'm just kind of tired of being on camera. Just getting all the fan letters and, you know, the love letters with kisses on them and everything from so many of my adoring fans. But here's this. Duke's gonna finish off for me. Go get him, Duke. So anyway, Tebow, you're talking about softball?
Yeah, thanks, Duke. I had a couple of teams reach regional finals this past week, Hempstead and Dyersville Beckman. Beckman unfortunately lost its 2A regional final 5-0 to Iowa City Regina last Monday. Hempstead went on the road to play Cedar Rapids Jefferson in a Class 5A regional final, dropped that one 6-2. A lot closer than the final score indicated, but both of those programs were trying to reach state tournament for the first time in their program history. They were real close, and you know, a lot of players coming back next year, so hopefully they'll get a chance to right that wrong next year.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, both of these teams are really going to have some talent coming back, right, Tim?
Yeah, only a couple of seniors combined between the 2 teams. So, and that's kind of the case for a lot of the quality teams in our area. There's not a whole lot of seniors graduating. So hopefully over the next couple of years we can get a bunch of teams over to Fort Dodge for state.
All right, well, good softball. Well, of course, your all-area team will be coming out here in a couple weeks, so that keeps you busy, I'm sure.
Absolutely, a lot of work to get done in a short period of time, so crunching the numbers and trying to figure out who belongs where.
Now, Tim, before we sign off, I just wanted to say I'd appreciate it if you stopped slobbering so much. It's makes both of us look bad.
So.
Thank you. Also, I was curious, I have some leftover food down in the kitchen down there. Do you have any me bags I could use? All right, folks, well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Telegraph Herald. More in the score. I am your host, Duke. For Tim O'Neill, we'll see you next week.